I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I think Neil deGrasse Tyson did something real bad. He did something real bad. You're going to hear about it very soon. And he's already trying to like mitigate or build a support system because he, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, has come out as a MAGA person. He posted a picture today with him with a Make America Great Again hat.
Well, if it isn't the very thing I posted about last night on Blue Sky, and people were like, no, we should reserve judgment. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's a science advocate. People were twisting themselves into all kinds of pretzels trying to justify why Neil deGrasse Tyson would post that picture. Folks were telling me, no, you don't understand. He's trying to educate MAGA. Folks were saying he has to work with the regime if he wants to forward any scientific causes. So it's justified in him pandering to a MAGA audience because he's trying to work for the good of science with the Trump regime, which there's zero evidence of that. Someone in my comments even said, I'm going to reserve judgment until I see more evidence. Someone in my comments even said, I think this is a fake. I'm going to reserve judgment until I see more evidence. And I was like, what additional evidence what do you mean it's a fake? He made those posts on his own social media. Like, what other, you go directly to the source. He posted it on his own socials. It's not a fake. You can go check directly at the source. And just to be clear, before I blocked Neil, I had been noticing a very disturbing trend in his social media posts on Blue Sky. Things that might not jump out at you at first. A number of posts where he talks about he worked with the Bush administration, repeatedly being like, oh, Bush did this for me. I worked with Bush on this. He had like a real weird pro-Rush Limbaugh post where he tried to make it look like it was about science by saying, oh, cochlear implants are wonderful. But really, it was about, during the first Trump administration, how Trump gave Rush Limbaugh the Medal of Freedom. Like that's a red flag, immediate red flag to me. Rush Limbaugh is literally dead, but also dead to all of us. Anybody making a post about him in 2025, weird. And people said, no, there's some reason that Neil posted a picture of himself holding all of these hats. This is really about him still doing something progressive. And I was like, first of all, he's never been progressive. He's actually been very clear that he will not talk about who he votes for or what parties he's affiliated with. He doesn't openly discuss his politics until I guess this week. So like, he's never been a Democrat. He's never been a progressive. And I would argue like maybe he's not even really a science advocate. He's just a celebrity who uses science as the thing to get him on Joe Rogan over and over and over again. Speaking of red flags, going on Joe Rogan multiple times, red flag. So when people were like, oh, you don't understand, Angela, there's some kind of like really clever message that he's trying to impart, some kind of critique of the Trump regime, of him posting with all of these hats. And I was like, who do you think that image was for? Who do you think he is signaling in 2025 America, posting a picture of himself with a MAGA hat and then putting up a poll? Who do you think his intended audience is? I want people to think about that for a little bit. Who do you think he's trying to signal with the kind of content he's been putting out the last several days? And then I have another layer of info I want to add there, but let's go back to Sabo Cat real quick.
Posted a picture today with him with a Make America Great Again hat, among other like red hats. And then he posted on Twitter that he and Elon Musk have a lot in common and like they're friends. And this is the grifter playbook, right? Like, you get caught abusing someone, and then you're like, just kidding, I'm a Christian. Like Russell Brand did that. Just kidding, I'm a Christian. But Neil deGrasse Tyson can't do that because he's an avowed atheist. I guess maybe he could like find religion.
Yeah, precisely. I immediately thought of Russell Brand. So great minds think alike. Right, like Russell Brand and Sean Fucht, is that how you say his name? That grifter, Trumpy pastor with the curly hair. They were recently photographed together. Now, Sabo Cat's assertion here is that perhaps there's going to be allegations against Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that's why he's getting out ahead of them by trying to build support from MAGA. Some little troll in my comments was like, oh, are you trying to cancel people now? Is Angela trying to cancel people? I mean, first of all, embarrassing for you that you think cancel culture is a real thing. Actually, Neil deGrasse Tyson is the example I use when I explain to people that cancel culture is not real. Because do you remember in 2019, I thought Neil's career was over. I thought he was going to go to prison, actually. 4 women at his work, four women accused him of sexual misconduct. Repeated sexual misconduct. 4 separate victims came forward. But you know what? The American Museum of Natural History said, no, he brings in a lot of money for us. They had some kind of sealed investigation that nobody would talk about. And at the end of it, Neil got to keep his jobs. And everybody just forgot. He was all cute and approachable again, charismatic, talking to you about cosmology. Like, who cares about the 4 women who said that they were victimized by him? We need him on the Late Late Show talking about, nebulae and quarks and shit like that. So it would not surprise me if what Neil is doing now is definitely the grifter move to try and protect himself from allegations that are very soon going to come to light. Obviously, that's purely speculative. There have been no additional allegations in 2025, but we have a list of them from 6 years ago that he made just like magically disappear because he brings in money, because he's a powerful public figure. So we'll see what's coming next. But honestly, it doesn't surprise me to see Neil swing to the right because he's always had kind of grifter vibes. And this is who is in power now. This is who is controlling the money. And people are emboldened to out themselves as aligning with fascism, which I understand is heartbreaking for people who thought that Neil was some kind of spokesman for science. To see him in any way throwing out dog whistles to the right, who is slashing cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's research, gutting our education system so that our kids no longer have access to science, destroying decades worth of scientific progress made in the United States. How could Neil deGrasse Tyson align himself with that in any way? But, he might have a personal reason why he needs to CYA. So we'll see what comes next. But the folks in my comments who were like, Angela, you're jumping to judgment, go look at the post for yourself. Not just the MAGA hat post, go look at what he's posted over the last several weeks. Look for some patterns there. Look at who he might be trying to signal.